everyone to our Thermomix cooking class tonight. The theme of our evening is Gourmet from Home, which our team came up with together. My name's Laura Jacobson, and there's a few consultants in our team here who are going to be presenting tonight. Just a little tip, if you put on Zoom, there's two view modes. You may be on speaker view or you may be on gallery view. If you could change it to speaker view, that will make sure you can only see, well, you can see the biggest screen you see is whoever's presenting and talking, because that's where the action's at. So if you can put it on speaker view, that's you're going to have a better viewing of the class. So yes, we've done a few of these virtual cooking classes. We've done one all about saving money, which was called Delicious on a Budget. And we've done one about some immune building recipes and some Easter recipes. We have a few more coming up. So keep in touch with the consultant so you can hear the different themed classes we're going to be running. Tonight's all about Gourmet from Home. We're hoping to show you how you can make some restaurant quality food in your Thermomix, especially now as we're all at home and we can't necessarily go out and eat at a restaurant. Yes, we are going to be able to watch this later. I am recording this, which means tomorrow, for everyone who booked it via Eventbrite, I will be emailing the recording in case you want to watch something again. And I'm also going to be emailing the links to the recipes. So don't feel like you need to sit there writing out what we're doing step by step, because I will be sending that. If you have other questions along the way, please put them into the chat. Us consultants, we're going to be trying to answer those questions while we go along. So without further ado, we're going to get started, and I am going to pass you over to the lovely Yolanda, who is in our team, and she's going to be showing us how to make a beautiful pesto star bread. So I'm going to mute myself, and if Yolanda can come off mute, you will see her on your speaker view.
Hello, how are you all? Welcome to my kitchen. We're going to cook a pesto star bread, which I made for my family over Easter. And it was such a wow dish that we thought we should make it in a cooking class. But because a lot of this dish is pretty boring to watch the making of with the dough, we're just going to skip through. And the same with the pesto, it's pretty easy to do. And then the bits that I'm actually going to show you is the assembly of the star, which is the tricky bit and a fun bit. So I'll just adjust my camera down so you can see what we're doing, and we'll skip through the recipe till we get to the assembly bit so you know what's involved. Okay, I hope you can see that. All right, let's get cooking. So with bread, we're going to start with some milk, 150 mils, some water, some dried yeast. Then we're going to put the measuring cap in, and we're going to heat it for about 2 minutes to body temperature just to activate the yeast, to get it growing beautifully so that our bread will rise nicely. Following that, we're going to add some bread flour and some olive oil and an egg to this one, and also a little bit of garlic powder. It gives the dough a nice flavour, very savoury. Then we're going to add some sea salt, put the measuring cap back in, and then we're going into dough mode. This one does need for 5 minutes, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want to show it during the class. That 5 minutes is better spent on the other consultants' gourmet dishes they're going to show you. So we'll skip through. It says to degrees a bowl, but I've actually put mine onto a thermomat and kept it warm. Now we're going to make the pesto. So into a pesto goes mozzarella, and then we chop up the cheese, we put it in a bowl, we add some pecorino, chop that up. Then we add pine nuts, we add fresh basil, some olive oil, some garlic cloves, and some fine sea salt. Pop the measuring cap in, and then we would wind up with a pesto that looks something like this. This is what I've pre-made. When basil is really growing well in your garden, make some pesto. Put a good layer of olive oil over the top so it stays green, because otherwise it does oxidise a bit. And then you can make recipes like this quick and easy, just skipping through as I've done now, just getting to the bit of making the dough. So now we're going to take, with the dough, we had to divide it into 4 balls. And I'm going to move the Thermomix now out of the way and show you what I've got with the dough. With the dough, I've rolled it out on a Thermomat. A Thermomat is a really awesome, useful Thermomix accessory. Dough doesn't stick to it, so when you want to peel it off using your spatula, it comes off very easily. Tip it upside down this way. Hoping you can see what I'm doing. It's a bit hard on Zoom, but anyway. The dough just peels away clean like that. And that's one of the lovely things about a Thermomat. You can make beautiful dough. Okay, so I've rolled out about a 25 centimetre circle. And in fact, I've done 4 of them because there's 4 layers to this star bread. The first layer, I'm going to put a little bit of egg wash around the outside edge. The egg wash is going to help the pesto star stick together. So I'll just paint some egg around the edge, maybe 2-3 centimetres around the edge. And we'll do that on each layer, just to help it all bind nicely together and hold when we bake it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tomato passata on there. So in this case, I've just used some tomato paste and some crushed tomato together because I didn't actually have any tomato passata handy. And I found when I did this last time, it gave beautiful flavour and it wasn't too runny. So it was easy for me to make the star shape. So we'll just pop that on, and I'm really hoping that my camera's allowing me to see what I'm doing. Just using a spatula, just spread it around. And then to give it a little bit more flavour, we're going to add about a teaspoon of garlic powder and some dried oregano leaves and a bit of black pepper. So on goes my oregano. Goes really nicely with the tomato. And then it's about a teaspoon of garlic powder, which is a fair bit. So just sort of scatter that around on the top. And a little bit of black pepper as well. What we do next is we take another layer. And because we've got so many consultants doing awesome recipes today, I've pre-rolled them just to make it faster and easier for today. So I'm just going to pop that layer on top of the last one like a stack. Peel off that paper. It's nice if you can get your rounds approximately the same size. It does make things a bit easier, but we don't need to be too precise. Bit of egg wash again around the outside. And then this layer is going to be our pesto layer. Beautiful green, fresh pesto. Don't smear it where the egg wash is because you want to be able to have that sticking together and you don't want it squeezing out the ends when we make our star shape. This is really the fun kind of baking, the stuff that looks really wow when it's finished, but actually it's not that hard to make, but it does look really impressive. So perhaps if you're having a dinner party or if you want to just impress your family with that clever way in the kitchen, this is a really nice one to make. Okay, another layer on top. And do make sure that you roll this quite thin because it's going to rise again and you need it fairly thin in order to be able to make the star shape. So once again, egg wash around the edge. It's just a beaten egg, nothing fancy. And now what we're going to do is add some mozzarella. The recipe does say 250 grams of mozzarella, which is actually quite a lot. I used 200 of mozzarella and I used 50 of Parmesan because I love the flavour of Parmesan cheese, but it actually is quite a lot. So just put on as much as you think you need, and perhaps 250 might be a bit more than we want. I don't think I'm going to use it all. Just push it down a little bit. And then the last thing we do is before we start making the shape, is we have to put on the top layer just like that. So we've got a stack. Can you see what I've done? Is it clear, Laura?
Sorry, I was finding my mute button. Yes, it's very clear from here. You've got good lighting in your kitchen.
I just slide a board underneath so you can see. So I've got a stack, just like that. Okay, now comes the fun bit. So I've got a cookie cutter, and I'm just going to put that in the middle and just make a bit of shape, just so that I know where the centre is. Now with a knife, I'm going to cut 16 sections. So just do 4 and then divide that and divide that. You need to cut through, right the way through to the paper. I'm going as fast as I can because I don't want to hold the class up, but try to do this section a bit carefully because you want to preserve your nice shape that you've created. These knives, this is the kitchen toolkit knife from Thermomix. Super sharp, beautiful to use. They're worth having if you get an opportunity to get one of those. All right, so then that's 4, so I want 16. So I've got to cut again. And then again. Playing with dough in the kitchen is one of those things that's really relaxing. And I found during this time of a little bit of self-isolation, it's been nice to have something that's a bit creative I can do with my Thermomix to make me feel relaxed. And the good bit at the end of it is that we all get to eat it, which is pretty awesome. All right, now I'm going to continue around the other side, but I think just for speed, I'm now going to show you how to make the star shape. So essentially, we grab one of these little pieces that I've cut right through, and we carefully twist twice. So 1 and 2, and then lay it down. It's handy to have a towel nearby because you do tend to get your hands a bit dirty, and you don't really want to put all that tomato paste on the outside. So 2 twists, and this time I go in the opposite direction. So you can see what's happened there. Now I do the same here. I go back, 2 twists. And this is one of the reasons you want the bread rolled fairly thin, just to make the twisting process a little bit easier. This bit is a little bit fiddly, but hey, it's not that hard. And the result that gets produced is stunning. It's really well worth the effort. I urge you to have a go. So just once again, 2 twists. And then in the other direction. This is way easier to do when you haven't got an audience of heaps of people watching you. I feel like I'm making a little bit of a mess, but it's going okay. You get the feeling for what's going to happen. So that's 1/2 of my star. So I'll just continue on and do the other half. And then what will happen is I will wash it all over with an egg wash so that it'll be golden and beautiful. And then I'll let it rise about another half an hour to 40 minutes. Then it will go in the oven. So I can continue on with the rest of the twisting and put the egg wash on and let it rise. And I'll come back to you when I've baked it. It'll be baked for about 17 minutes at 200 degrees. So yes, that's our basil pesto star, how we form it. Are you there, Laura?
Yeah, I am. You made it look very easy. You're making me think that I could give that a go.
It actually is way less difficult than you think, but kind of in a rush in front of lots of people, I was a bit nervous, but you can see that's pretty good.
No, yes, it's on Cookie Dough. Someone's just asking. This is the pesto star bread from Cookie Dough.
Cookie Dough UK.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Yolanda. You are a star.
Okay, when it's baked.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to move over to Penny now, and Penny is going to make us another gourmet recipe for us, or I'll let her tell you what it is. So I'll just go on mute and let Penny come off.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. I'm Penny. Tonight I am going to be doing a camembert with cranberries and onion. And it's amazing. It's steamed and it's all gooey and delicious in the center. So like yo, I'm just going to show you part of it and then I'll talk you through what happens next, and then we'll come back at the end when it's all finished. So to start with, I am going to throw in 50 grams of brown onion. Very basic and simple. And then I'm going to put my lid on and I'm just going to chop that. I'll just move you closer. I'm going to scrape down the sides. So it's a little bit sweet and a little bit savoury, and it's fantastic for nibblies on a nice warm afternoon or cold in winter by the fire. So I'm just going to pop in 80 grams of dried cranberries, 40 grams of salted butter, a tablespoon of brown sugar, tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, a tablespoon of port, and I'm going to pop the lid back on. And it's going to cook for 5 minutes at 100 degrees on speed 1 reverse. Sorry. Yep, Sarah, this is on Cookie Do as well. It's also in our barbecue cookbook, believe it or not. So this is going to cook for a minute. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to pop in 50 grams of slivered almonds and cook it for another minute. It's called Camembert with Cranberries and Almonds. So once that's done, I'm going to use our aroma, and all I've done is line it with some tin foil underneath and then some baking paper on top, and I've poked 4 holes in it, and then that will steam for 14 minutes, 14 to 20 minutes depending on how big your camembert is. I've got one here. So I bought this fella from Costco today. It's only 480 grams. It does say 900 to a kilo, but I'm not going to eat that tonight, so I thought I'd just go a smaller one. And this is on special if anyone's near a Costco. It's on special for $9.99, I think. So yeah, that's about it, Laura. If you want to keep going with some of the others, and then we'll come back when I've plated up.
Awesome, thank you. Too easy. So if you missed my beginning intro, I hope you're all on speaker view so you can all see what's happening with each of our presenters as we juggle around. So I am going to cut now to Mel Morris, who's going to start cooking a dish for you, and there's a little bit of time in between. So once she's started, it's going to come back to me and I'm going to show you a quick dessert while she does that. So, all right, Mel Morris, where are you?
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name's Mel. Tonight I'm going to be cooking chorizo and prawn a la Sidra. I think I said that right. Sounds fancy though, so I'll go with that. And this is just on Cookie Do, just the Aussie version, because I didn't add any filters when I searched for it. So it's really quite easy to make. I'm just going to see if I can adjust my thing so you can see a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, so in here, I'm just going to put 2 garlic cloves and 50 grams of the eschalots. And then I'm going to just chop that, which is one of the good functions of Thermomix. And I'll show you how that looks. Just scrape down the sides with the bowl. Who loves not having to chop onions by hand anymore? Anyone? Everyone. Alrighty. Now I'm going to add 30 grams of olive oil. And 1 dried bay leaf. This next step is cooking for 6 minutes. So I think Laura's going to share just some current info with you, and then we'll come back for the next steps after that.
Thanks, Mel. I am actually going to start my dessert. So let's see how quickly I can do this in 6 minutes. I'm going to show you how to make a sticky toffee pudding. And this is cooked in the Varoma, and it's awesome and it's beautiful. I have already just started, all this is dates, bicarb soda, and hot water. So this is soaking along the side. Now that is the first step in the recipe, which I just did. I don't know, some of you may have seen me doing it while Yolanda was showing her bread. So I am going to move you back to the Thermomix now. Sorry while I move you for a second, just so you can see what I'm doing here. Which way am I going? So hopefully you can all see, we love our guided cooking, and we especially love that the scales come up. So everything is always really accurate when you're cooking in your Thermomix, because it's done by grams. So I'm making the sauce now. So it's asking me for some butter. And hopefully that's the right amount. And some brown sugar. And you can, incidentally, you can make your own brown sugar in the Thermomix as well, if you don't have any. And this is my homemade golden syrup, and I just put it in a store squeezy tube so that the family knows that it's golden syrup. But this saves me a lot of money. It's just water and sugar. So, and that recipe is on Cookie Dough or Recipe Community, whatever you use. There we go. Perfect. Just clicking next. We want some milk. Just a little bit of milk. Okay. And, oh yes, some vanilla. And again, this is my, you guys are going to think I'm like, I do everything homemade, but I don't do everything homemade. These are like the things that I do. This is my homemade vanilla paste, which I store in a Vegemite jar in the fridge just to freak people out that I'm adding Vegemite to dessert. But it is so beautiful. It makes everything taste so good, and it's a lot cheaper to make your own vanilla extract. It just uses water, sugar, and your vanilla beans. So I recommend having a look at that if you haven't seen that before. So now it's just telling me to put the lid on and to start mixing. So that's our sauce. That's our sauce for our sticky toffee puddings. Now while that's going, I'm going to go over here. So normally you would make the sauce, set it aside, and then make the pudding batter. But for the sake of today, I am going to just grab my other Thermomix, because I'm spoilt and I have two on my bench, and carry on with the recipe. I wouldn't normally do this. It really is just for the sake of time tonight with our class. So it's telling me to add the dates, which have been soaking. So I'm going to add those in. And you add even the water as well. So there's no mucking around with draining that. It all just goes in. Okay. In goes some butter. Just nothing fancy there. It's just some butter.
Laura, are you able to tell us where you get your vanilla beans from?
Oh, well, My husband actually went overseas a long time ago and bought me a heap, and they're just kind of dried vanilla beans that are still all good to go. So if you know someone going overseas, they're really cheap, like Bali or Tahiti or Hawaii even. Thailand, actually, we got some there. But you can buy them online. The ones in your supermarket are really expensive. So if you can find them online, that's probably the best place. Maybe I'll have a Google, and when I send the recipes out tomorrow, I will try and offer some better advice around that, because no one's going overseas right now. Thanks for asking that. Okay, just putting in some flour, some baking powder, and an egg. See how I go cracking my egg. Good. Now it tells you to put the lid on and mix. This is going to mix for 20 seconds on speed 5. Okay. I'm so curious to know how much of my 6 minutes I've already taken. But there is our mixture ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is pour it into, let's see if I can pop you up. If you can all see me. I am going to put it into these Varoma, what are they called? Varoma cupcake molds, I think they're called. They go, funnily enough, in your Varoma. So the round one goes in your Varoma dish, and the rectangle one goes on top on your tray. And there are lots of recipes already pre-made for you to steam your desserts in your Varoma. If you're wanting to do this with a different recipe, that's like just any cake recipe, the general rule of thumb is to get a litre of water, set the time for 20 minutes, Varoma temperature, speed 2, and your cakes will be steamed perfectly in cupcake size. If you wanted to do it in a round tin, I would recommend putting a cookie cutter or a few cookie cutters down the bottom, or a Varoma trivet if you've got that, but just something to raise your tin a little bit. 16 centimetre tin fits, and I think even a 20 centimetre tin fits inside if it's raised a little bit. And then you do a litre of water, Varoma temp, speed 2, for 50 to 60 minutes. If the recipe of the cake says 50 minutes in the oven, then it's 50 minutes in the Varoma. It matches. So you can steam your cakes, and the reason you would, well, there's a few reasons. It's so you don't have to use your oven. Energy-wise, it's great to use your Thermomix, but also the cakes and the cupcakes always come out really moist and just perfect. Like nothing ever dries out. You can't overcook it. I find sometimes in the oven, even just 1 minute can make a difference, and you've dried out your cakes or your muffins. So the steamer, the Varoma doesn't do that. So I am just going to keep putting these in here. I'm just looking at Mel. She's ready. She's ready for the next step. But I'll just show you. I was chatting to you instead of doing this, but I'll just show you. You just fill them up, and the Varoma will sit on top with the water, and it will be steaming. And when it's done, I'll show you the serving of the puddings with the sauce and some of my homemade Thermomix ice cream as well. Back to Mel.
Thanks, Laura. That was great. I need some of those Varoma silicone molds. Need one of those. Okay, so our onion and garlic and bay leaf has been nicely sauteing away. I'm just, yeah, I hope you can all see that as best as you can. So then what I've got here is some chorizo. I've just, this is 300 grams. I've just chopped it and had the fun job of peeling the skin off. So we're going to pop that in there. And then I'm going to put the measuring cup on, the lid on, and then this is just going to cook for a minute. So I'll stay chatting to you for a little while that cooks. So one of the reasons I love being a Thermomix consultant is just basically getting to do these cooking classes. I always learn something new at these cooking classes, so they're beneficial to consultants as well as customers. I'm not the most adventurous cook, so this helps a little bit. Yeah, I'm also a nurse as well, so I have 2 jobs, and it helps for any nurses on here. It helps to have a Thermomix. Yeah, just got 20 more seconds on here to go. I don't know if you can all hear me over that or not. Laura, can you hear me still? Okay, all right. This is actually really quite an impressive side as well if you're wanting to impress some guests, or even just for a date night with the hubby or partner or whatever while we're in isolation. It's nice and easy to make. So next I'm popping in some alcoholic apple cider. So it has 2 purposes. I get to drink the rest after I finish showing you guys all. So that's just 100 grams. And then without the measuring cup. How many of you guys have TM5s and how many of you guys have TM6s? If you can raise your hand. Both, okay. For those of you that have the 5, did you know that the TM6 measuring cup can go in the 5 as well, which is really cool because it actually locks in. It's a lot more sturdier than the clear one, which is really cool that some of these things are interchangeable. The recipe that this is chorizo and prawn a la Sidra. Sidra, S-I-D-R-A. So that's going to cook for another 3 minutes. Laura, did you have anything else to add? No?
Yeah, if you want me to talk for 3 minutes, I'd love to. I wanted to share with everyone what our current promotions are and let you know I've noticed that about half the people who've booked in already have a Thermomix and half don't. There are many reasons why people invest in a Thermomix, but the top are to save time, to be healthy, and to save money. All the creativity and gourmet stuff is like down the track a little bit for some, but it is different for everyone. And I just want to show you what our current promotions are. So for anyone who wants to buy a Thermomix by the end of April, tomorrow, you will also receive a free 2.6 litre thermo server, which keeps your food hot for a few hours or cold for a few hours. It's double insulated stainless steel. It's awesome. Like, you need that with your Thermomix. It is also available as a host reward always. So if you don't have one of those, they are available to receive that way. We're also giving one of these everyday cooking for Thermomix families recipe book, which is a favorite for a lot of us. So these are the bonuses for anyone who wants to purchase this month. Someone's asking to admit a friend. There's no queue for this class. Everyone can come in. Hopefully, oh, great. Next month, if I can just bring it over, sorry. Next month from May, we already know what the promotion is going to be, and I'm excited about this because, thank you, someone's saying they love my earrings. The Eat Well cookbook has sold out, so it's now the everyday cookbook. Our promotion was way more popular than head office anticipated. Next month, they're offering a choice for anyone purchasing a Thermomix to receive 6 state-of-the-art wines from Lewin Estate in WA in the Margaret River think that's right. So it's 3 reds and 3 whites, and it's all valued at around $200 worth of wine. So kind of to celebrate having a Thermomix, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, everyone's in at the moment wanting to relax and have a wine while we can't go out. The other choice for people who don't drink, which would be me if I was ordering it, is to receive our very popular vegetarian cookbook and 2 of our so cute mini thermo servers. Now these are awesome for serving up dips, sauces, caramelized onions at a barbecue, anything that's small. In my family, sometimes we also use it for single portion, like if my daughter's out at dance and we eat without her, I'll put her dinner in here, and when she comes home she can eat her little single serving portion of dinner. Yeah, they are cute. So yeah, great promotions for anyone who prefers the April promotion. Get on top of that. You've got till the end of tomorrow. I like the big thermo server. I think it's a must-have, but the May promo is great too. It's just going to be different for different people, and I love that we're able to give you a choice right now of choosing between the 2 months, and in May choosing between the wines and this. And Mel's ready for me to stop talking.
Thanks, Laura. Sorry, I just didn't want to bore you guys with my long cooking times. So it's only a little bit to go. So next we're adding in 30 grams of tomato paste. And here's my little half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, we'll just saute that for a minute. For those of you that don't have a thermo server, that, as Laura was telling you, it's a really, really good deal, especially this month at the moment, because it will keep food hot or cold for up to 2 hours, which is really, really handy, especially if you have people coming and going, teenagers coming or going, or if you're working different shifts or whatever. So that's a really great incentive as well. And of course the everyday cookbook as well. Has anyone got some favourite recipes from the everyday cookbook? Mine's the decadent chocolate brownies. Check it out if you haven't cooked it yet. Yeah. Okay. It's almost finished. Capsicum. Yeah, the capsicum sun-dried tomato dip is a really good one too. Thanks, Laura. Okay. So next we're just going to add in some prawns. I've just peeled them, left the tails on, and just deveined them. So in they go. And this is the final step before we plate up. So I'm just going to go for another 2 minutes. And then I will show you how I'm going to plate it up. I just got some crusty Vienna bread. You could put more on here. I'm just doing 3 for presentation purposes. And then we're going to sprinkle it with some, I bought Danish feta, but you could use any feta that you wanted as well, just to garnish it. And then I'm actually going to give it as a home delivery to my neighbours. A little afternoon, midnight, late night snack for dinner, because I already ate. Yeah. Is there any questions? Oh.
We just had a question in the chat asking if all the recipes are available in Cookie-Doo. Yes, we are showing that we are giving away books at the moment. And a book always comes with a Thermomix, but some people like hard copy, but all the recipes are on Cookie-Doo as well. There's like 45,000 recipes on there or something like that. It keeps climbing each month, so I don't actually know how many are on there.
If you can't find it, you just have to click on the filter button in Cookie-Doo. Sometimes some recipes are from a different country, like I think the one Yo was doing was from the UK Cookie-Doo. And we also run classes for cookie dough workshops as well. For any of you that aren't sure how to use it properly, it can help you with that as well. So this recipe was the chorizo and prawn a la Sidra. I'll type it in there for you.
I was trying to type it in and it kept auto-correcting it to Sierra.
I hate autocorrect.
Like, that is exactly what I meant.
Hey, Laura, can I just show you this bread before it goes in the oven?
Yeah.
So another use for a thermo server, I've currently got mine with a little bit of warm water in it, and I'll just turn my kettle off, hang on. There's a bit of warm water in my thermo server, and I've just sat my dough proving on top. So I've glazed it, it's now risen, and it's ready to go in the oven for its bake. But just warm water in your thermo server, not hot, will allow the temperature to come up through the lid and just help your dough proof that bit faster. Another use for a thermo server.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's ready to go in the oven. Can't wait.
Wow, looks so good. We'll have enough to later.
Serve it up so I can show you.
Oh, that looks so good.
It smells really good too. Sorry.
I tried this one and it was delicious.
And Penny said that it goes well with pasta too. So that's another option if you wanted to turn it from a side into a dish.
It would, I can imagine that, yeah.
I'm just going to use my hands because I can, because it's just...
Because you're the one eating it.
To get the prawn.
I often find it easier just to serve out into a thermo server and then use the scoop because the ladle gets stuck around the blades.
Yes. And now I'm just going to sprinkle on some feta. And you could really add whatever you wanted on there. Like if you don't like feta, you can, I'm sure it would go nicely with Parmesan cheese too. Because not everyone likes feta.
Mm.
Can you all see that?
Yeah, it looks great.
And that's it. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Mel. It looks very gourmet from home. So now we are going to, I'm going to introduce you to Rhonda from our team who is going to show you something very fancy. Hopefully Rhonda's there somewhere.
Hi there, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
loud and clear.
okay. So I'm just going to quickly go through the first part of the recipe. Just flick through because I've already prepared in advance. We're going to start cooking. And what it firstly does is make a butter. So at the end of it, that's going to go onto our warm meat and just glaze it and just make it look amazing. So in that, it's asking for 1 clove of garlic and then some fresh rosemary. And then it asks for a shallot, which will be peeled, and then it'll chop that, and then it's going to ask us for some sun-dried tomatoes, and then some butter, and then it's going to mix that, and then we're going to move on to, with a pinch of salt, mix it all up, and also that's some liquid smoke. I don't have any liquid smoke, but I've got a powdered smoke, so I put that in. So that gets transferred to a bowl and put aside. We don't need that till later. So the next thing we do into our bowl, if you're not familiar with the sous vide process, it's a slow cooking of meat, fish, any sort of protein or vegetable or fruit even, to a point where it is just going to come out so juicy, delicious, moist and soft. So it's asking us to fill this up to 1/850 of water. So it's nearly 2 litres of water, which is quite a lot because the meat will be submerged in water. Okay. So then we're going to put our steamer basket in. We're going to put the lid on, and then it's going to heat up the water for about 15 minutes. It's also going to ask for some lemon in the water. The lemon is to help any potential oxidation that could occur on the blades. So that's just there as a precaution. And then after that's done, it'll actually heat up for 15 minutes. And while that's heating up for 15 minutes, we actually lay some prosciutto out on a board. I'm using my Thermomix here, which is great. I don't know if can you see that, Laura?
Might need to go a little bit lower. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Someone's just asked what the name of this recipe is. It's you go.
The recipe is pork fillet wrapped in prosciutto with barbecue butter. So I'm just doing 2 serves here. So this is a piece of pork fillet for one person. So the 2 pieces add up to around 270 grams, which is enough for a serving of 2. And this will make enough for 4. But I'm just doing the 2 serves now, and I've got 2 that are started so that we can see it. We just put some salt and pepper on those, and then we were going to just a bit of pepper and a bit of salt. And then we're going to get I have some lovely homemade basil pesto like Yolanda used earlier. So she used the homemade one, so I'm just showing you how the store-bought one looks. And in comparison, it's quite pale. Once you've made the pesto from your garden, it's just as amazing. So this is just spreading that on quickly. And then we'll just turn that over, if you can see that. I'm putting some on the other side. You can spread it all over. And then we're going to wrap those up with the prosciutto, and we'll make a nice little parcel, like so. And then comes the putting it into the bag. Now the recipe does ask for you to wrap it in some baking paper, but I've done this quite a few times now, and it's just, the process is just not necessary. Well, I don't find it necessary. So we're just going to take that and we're going to put it into a little Ziploc bag. It's important to make sure your Ziploc bag is PBA free, because we don't want any leaching any harmful chemicals into you. There is also some beautiful sous vide bags in the mix shop, and it has a little sort of like a balloon pump that'll suck the air out. So right now it's important to get as much air out as possible. You can see that in the bag. So to do that, we're just going to get a body of water. In comes our body of water, and we're just going to put it in there. As it's lowered into the water, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it takes the air out. It's just getting rid of all the air and around the meat. So just lay it down a bit, and then we will seal up the bag, like so. Sort of like vacuum packing. So with the ones that you can get in the mix shop, see how that's all sucked in? Let's move the water away. See how that's sort of all sucked in around the meat? And then we're going to, after we've, our Thermomix has heated up the water to 70 degrees for 15 minutes, we will now put in our meat into the Thermomix. I'm not sure if you can read the screen there, because I don't have one of those stands for my iPad, so it's actually being held up by my water bottle and cookbooks at the back. But, you know, we're just going to make do, because, you know, it's about doing what you can do. So when we're going to put that into our Thermomix, I'll just show you in the basket. Can you see that, Laura? Is that too high? So it's just going to go into the basket with the lid on, and then all you need to do is make sure that it is covered. The water is covering it, and so long as that's happening, we're all good. And so that goes on, and it's actually now going to go at 70 degrees for an hour. So this recipe is adaptable to a TM5, but you'd actually have to read it manually off the Cookie Do website. but because it is 70 degrees, it is a marker on the Thermomix, on the TM5, that it will do it okay, because I actually did it on my TM5 before I got my TM6. So right now I need to take you over to the stove, because I'm just going to whiz you forward an hour in our magic kitchen and just show you what happens after an hour. So right now, I think you can see my pan. Yes, and I'm just going to get our sous vide out of the TM5. So 70 degrees isn't too hot, so you can handle it quite well. And what's going to happen is it comes out looking like this. Okay, so then we're just going to take it out of the bag and put it into our pan. And for about 30 seconds to a minute, we're just going to brown it up and get it some colour. So Laura, do you have anything that you'd like to talk about while we're just getting some colour on this meat?
Yes, absolutely. Penny wants to show us her Camembert.
Okay, so give me about a minute just to brown this up in my fry pan here.
Penny, and we'll come back to you.
Yep.
Okay, so my Camembert has finished steaming. I popped in my mini thermo server the cranberry almond mixture. So I've just popped my Camembert on a plate. I'm just with the mixture. As you may be able to see in the background, I have a little helper who is refusing to go to bed, so I apologise for that. So you can top it with as much as you like. Tap off, kiddo. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut it, and I hope you can see. Tap off, just a minute. Can you see that cheese oozing out? Amazing. And you can serve it with a jack, or look at that. Ah, yum, so good. All right, thanks, Laura.
Ah, that looks so amazing. I wish I was there with you.
I'm about to stuff my face with it.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure it's all keto, right? Awesome. Thanks, Penny. Okay, I think Rhonda's probably ready for us.
Yes, I am. I'm just going to take out a piece of the pork and put it on our plate. We're just serving it here with a bit of simple salad. And I just need to go back and dot the rest back at the thing. And, you know, when you think you've got everything out and then you realise at the end you don't have a knife to cut it, it's a bit silly, isn't it? So here is what the first mix looks like. So this is the butter, the tomatoes, the onion and the garlic and the herbs all mixed up, and it's made into a butter. So we're just going to put that onto our beautiful pork here, and you'll see that it's just going to melt and make like a beautiful sauce. And we're just going to cut this, and I get to taste this and you don't, but it's just cutting like butter. It is just, there's no effort at all to slide through it. And can you see how moist and beautiful that looks? Is that coming up okay, Laura?
Yeah, maybe a little bit closer because the light's shining on it. It just looks very white. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. It looks delicious.
Yeah.
It looks so good, actually.
I have to work on my lighting, I think.
No, it's good. It's great.
Yeah, so we can just put in, you know, as much butter or as little butter as you like. And it's just beautiful to serve, you know, with a salad or just some lightly baked vegetables. The other thing I have done is when I haven't had any basil, I've actually put the butter on instead of the basil pesto. So instead of the basil pesto, I've put this beautiful tomato flavoured butter on instead, and just use that, and then it comes out beautiful. So that's me done, Laura.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Rhonda. So sous videing in your Thermomix isn't as hard as it looks. I know a lot of people think it's more of a restaurant thing to do, but Rhonda just showed us how easy it can be to do sous vide in your own home. Gourmet from home. Yes,
Yeah,
I was asking again about the recipes. I'm sending all the recipes tomorrow. Sorry?
Yeah, so now I get to eat my dinner. How lucky am I?
You are so lucky.
I know,
Awesome.
it is yum.
Now, I've just had a request from someone if we can just see Penny's dish again. So Penny, can you just show us and just come off mute so you become the speaker view?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I was literally just going to throw that in my mouth. But can you all see that? It doesn't look fabulous anymore because I've cut it and the cheese has gone everywhere, but it is amazing.
Oh, it does. It looks great. Thank you. Sorry, I just had another request for that. And someone's also asked what we put on top of the pork. That was garlic and herb. It was called a barbecue butter. Sorry. That's all in the recipe we'll send tomorrow as well. And we'll almost get to see the bread. I'm just going to show you because we had a few questions in the chat. Can you all see what I'm holding up? This is liquid smoke. You buy it, I don't know where you buy it in person. I bought it on eBay actually because I'm random like that. At our Thermomix conferences, we always have a chef, like a celebrity chef, someone you would all know, come and cook for us in the Thermomix because a lot of celebrity chefs and other chefs and just like heaps of restaurants have Thermomixes out back that you don't normally see. But as Thermomix consultants, we get them to come and cook for us and show us, you know, different things that we don't normally cook at home every day for our families. I cook very basic things. But that's where I heard about liquid smoke at one of these conferences, one of our chefs, and I feel like it was Matt Sinclair, but it may not have been because I can't remember that. But he told us all to buy liquid smoke and add a little bit into your barbecue marinades, and it actually makes such a difference. So that's what was in that sous vide recipe that Rhonda was talking about. Where are we going now? We are going to go to, oh, you can get it at Woolies, can you? There you go. Didn't even know. And apparently barbecue's galore. So we are going to cut over to Nat. Nat's going to show us a beautiful gourmet, what is it? Pantry staple. You can just have ready to go in your pantry anytime to make your dishes have more flavor. Natalie, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry. I have my husband putting his hand over the camera. Being naughty. Hi everyone, I'm Nat, and tonight I'm gonna make garlic oil. So it's really quick and easy. And I actually use it in my shop. I use it in my cooking. It's really nice. I started using it at home when I was making dukkha, and I'd get torn bits of focaccia and I dip it in the oil and the dukkha, and it's so good. Now I put on fish and chicken and everything, so I'm just a little bit addicted. So I'm gonna make the garlic oil, but you can add like basil, oregano, chili, whatever you want. There's just never-ending flavors. You can make your own flavored oil. So I'm just gonna make the garlic because it's really quick and easy. And I'm just going to bring up the recipe. It's just in my cookie dough.
You're killing me, chillin'.
I'll just pop the screen down a bit so you can see. So I've got it saved. So just start cooking. So it's 8 to 12 garlic cloves. I like garlic, so 12 goes in. Now, I'm just going to go back to my home screen because you have to have them lightly crushed, and because I bought a Thermomix means that I don't want to crush them myself. So what I do, I put it on for 2 to 3 seconds depending how much garlic I've got. I'm going to go 3 seconds, and then I'm just going to go speed 4. And then it'll be lightly crushed. And then I can go back to my recipe, which is my little green book up here. And I can do the rest. So if you can see, that's my garlic. It's not overly crushed like we would do if we were making a bolognese or a lasagna or something. So yeah, it's just enough just to break out those flavors. And now we're just 500 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Almost there. Okay. And then it's going to cook 20 minutes on Varoma at speed 1. Now, while that's doing that, here's one I prepared earlier. So, I've got my oil here in the jug. I found a pretty bottle to put it in tonight. I wouldn't usually put it in a pretty bottle, but I'm doing it for demonstration purposes. And I've just got a funnel with a nut milk bag because I had no muslin cloth left. And I'm just going to pour the oil through. And I don't know if you can see, but it's draining through. So the whole idea is that we don't have the big clumps of garlic in it, but we're going to have that lovely flavour going through. And then you can actually make this. This is really good for gifts. We were doing up a hamper for like teachers, family members, anybody that you would do a hamper for. Like I use it everywhere. So like in my shop, at home. I'm very addicted to my flavoured oils, so I really enjoy them. So we just strain it through the nut milk bag. If you don't have a nut milk bag, you can use muslin cloth, or you can use a fine mesh sieve. But I couldn't find one that would fit through the bottle lid, so I thought I'd just use a funnel. And I can pour more into it, and it's quicker. So I'm just going to finish draining this bit and then show you. The other thing you can do, if you're going to give it as a gift, if you're just doing garlic or if you've got other flavours, you can pop like a couple of garlic cloves in the bottom of the bottle, or a bit of basil in there, or whatever flavour you've done. Just pop a bit of that flavour in so they can see it. And it just looks good for presentation. And that's almost finished, but that's what it looks like in my pretty little jar. And it's not going to look pretty in an hour when I put it into the bottle it goes into, but yeah, but that's it. That's all I've got. So I'll give you back to Laura.
Thank you, Nat. You can turn anything gourmet if you're adding your own homemade infused oils into your recipe. We are going to cut over to Yolanda, who's going to show us the result of her bread.
Hello. Yes, I've made the bread. It smells fantastic. It looks great. I'm going to try and lift my iPad so that you can see it, or actually maybe I'll leave the iPad where it was and move the bread. Sorry, a bit new to this tech stuff. So there it is, the pesto star bread baked. It smells just amazing with garlic and cheese and basil, pesto and tomato, like just wonderful. It looks really nice when it's baked, and when you cut it open, I can show you what it looks like if you like.
Yeah, sure. Show us the inside because it looks amazing. Now we're wrecking it though.
Wish I could share it with you, Laura.
You know, we're not used to this virtual thing. We like having classes where everyone's in the hall with us and everyone gets to eat.
So it's just almost like a twisted pizza, if that makes sense.
Looks delicious. Thank you. I'm sure your family will enjoy it too.
They're going to be very happy.
So we're going to cut to our lovely Lisa. She's one of our newer consultants who's going to show us how you can make your own spice mixes in the Thermomix with a beautiful za'atar, which is just so great to go on anything as well.
Great, thanks Laura. Okay, so making za'atar, I've already started this recipe as well. We needed 3 minutes on Varoma speed just to heat up our sesame seeds. I think you can see that all in there. And to that now, I've been smelling these all evening. It smells very earthy in my kitchen tonight. We've got 2 tablespoons of oregano and 2 tablespoons of sumac, which is the hero of our dish tonight. Some cumin and some salt and pepper. Just 2 teaspoons each of that, and 2 teaspoons of thyme. Okay, so they all go in. And we've gone through all of those, so we'll just catch up. And set the measuring cup. And 10 seconds on speed 8. There we go. Terrific. And here we have our spice rub. You can see that there. I'll put this into a nice little bowl here. And we can use this to rub into any meat, fish, chicken. It can also be used in salads. It can be on top of some hummus. And it's a lovely, and it keeps for about 6 months. In the Thermomix on the cookie dough here, when we go to recipe details, we can actually get all the ingredients down the side here, and it can also give the tips and tricks and hints in this section down here for Za'atar. And it also gives the energy, the protein, the carbs and the fat that's in each dish as well. And I was also very surprised at the medicinal purposes of this particular spice mix. It can improve your immune health, strong bones, increase circulation, and it has inflammatory properties as well. So I was really interested in that. If you make it into a paste, you can put it on your arthritic joints. So I'll be bathing myself in that. That's all from me, Laura.
That is awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I have Za'atar in my pantry always. I love it. It's amazing. So my steamed pudding's just finished. I can show you here. They're just done, and I've just popped one out onto a plate. So this is our steamed toffee puddings, and I'm going to serve it with some homemade Thermomix ice cream. I'm very plain. It's called vanilla ice cream. It's in your basic cookbook, and it scoops beautifully. And you can see, because I use my own, oh, you might not be able to see actually, because I use my own homemade vanilla paste, you can see a few little black dots in the ice cream. Maybe you can't. Take my word for it. My husband's coming to take this plate away from me in 2 seconds. All I need to do is pour on the sauce. So we've got our sticky toffee pudding, steamed in the Varoma, beautiful, with the sauce and homemade vanilla ice cream. There we go. And that's ready for my husband, who is just running away. He's a freak for dessert. He loves his desserts. So, little tip about, yes, I'm so sorry we can't share this. If anyone lives close to me in Beaumont Hills, message me for your address and you can come grab pudding tonight. I'm not even joking. You're welcome to come grab one. Yes, one of my neighbors has just texted. What was I about to say? Yeah, so a tip about cooking desserts in your Varoma, which I didn't get to share before because I was trying to be fast. What I do when I'm going to be doing desserts in the Varoma, if I have guests, is I make it up first before I make dinner. So I make the batter in my Thermomix jug. I pour it out ready into my molds and then set my Varoma aside, clean my bowl, make my dinner, and then do a really quick pre-clean. I love pre-clean mode. Put in the water and then steam my dessert while we're eating our dinner. And 20 minutes later, you finish dinner and dessert's ready. So the other thing I wanted to just quickly show you is, oh, someone's in Perth. Sorry, can't help you there. I want to show you some things on cookie dough. Because tonight is Gourmet from Home, I want to make sure you all know how to find some of these recipes. So I'm hoping all of you know how to find recipes that you're already aware of. So you want to make something particular. Say you want to make that, what do you want to make? The Camembert with cranberries and almonds. Just type it in. The recipe will come up. Okay, that's easy. The other thing you can do is search by ingredients. So say you want to be a little bit fancy and cook something with prawns. You don't know what the recipe is called, but you just type in the ingredient. you can do that. And all these recipes have come up. But I want to show you something else, which I don't know if everyone's aware of. Even if you don't know anything at all about what you want to cook, you can come and put in a keyword like gourmet and just see what comes up, because all of our recipes have tags. So I've typed in gourmet and look at these beautiful recipes that are coming up. How good does that look? Even if you go into a recipe that you think looks pretty fancy, you can scroll down and look at the other tags that are related to this recipe. So for example, chef recipes, that would be a great one to look at. So all these recipes have been submitted to Cookie Do from some of our favorite chefs who work with Thermomix. Yeah, so you can do that. Mother's Day is another tag. Just type in Mother's Day. Oh, look at all the things that are coming up. I'm just going to take that one away. 524 Mother's Day recipes have just come up. So yeah, and just in case some of you aren't sure how to use Cookie Do to do your meal planner, once you've found what you want to make, you press these 3 dots and add it to, you can add it to a collection. So these are collections that you've created. So these are some of the ones that I've made that I use. Or you can add it to, you can bookmark it or add it to a week. So say you want to make this on Mother's Day, I'll just come tag May 10th for that one. And you can also add it to your shopping list. The shopping list is amazing. So I'm going to go to my week. I'm in my week now. You can see there the toffee puddings I made tonight, and that's what we had for dinner. Something quick and easy so I could get everyone out of the kitchen before our class started tonight. I'm going to just show you this shopping list. I love this. This is just so good. It's just loading. It takes all your week's recipes and puts them, separates all the ingredients out and then puts them in categories. So as you're going down the aisles in your supermarket, all your baking ingredients are together. Your cereals together, your dairies together, and if you had meat, your meat is all together. And you've got little tick boxes on the side so that as you're going down the aisles, you can tick it off on the app. Use the app on your phone. If you don't want to use the app or you're worried about internet availability there, you can, from the website, you can just share it with yourself. You can text or email it. Text or email it to your partner. Get them to grab these things on their way home. So that's Cookie Do. If anyone has more questions about Cookie Do, please just stay on at the end. I can help answer those. Oh, I can see a few questions in the chat too. There is a pre-clean mode. Yep, TM5 and TM6 both have pre-clean mode. I might show you how to find that tomorrow. If anyone has any other questions that you think it's just for you, I'll ask them when I email you, reply back. If any of you didn't register on Eventbrite, put your email address in chat, not to everyone, but you can find my name, Laura Jacobson. So when you go to chat, you can change it to be just to Laura Jacobson. Email me, text, put in the chat your email address and I'll make sure you get all the recipes. Bookmarking puts recipes just in the bookmark category. Let me just show you on the screen. If you come over here, I'm still in this recipe, but if I go home and come to these 3 dots, my recipes and bookmarks. So these are the recipes that I've bookmarked. And you can do that on a TM5 or a TM6, just in your menu, really easy. Memory capacity of the TM6, oh, I believe it's 5,000 recipes or something ridiculous like that. You'll never run out of space. I will add Facebook pages in the email tomorrow. Doesn't matter if you didn't register, just send me your email address. That's not a problem. Cool. I will let the chat keep going with email addresses. What other things about the Thermomix? For those who haven't got one yet, the price is $2,269. We have great payment options. For the next week only, ending on the 7th of May, we have 36 months interest-free. This is so affordable. It works out at $16.30 per week. So if you want to have a Thermomix on your bench, it's less than $20. You know, have a think about what other things you spend $20 on in a given week. So many people just throw that away. So that's a really great option. Once that ends, we've still got 24 months interest free, which is $24 a week. So we always have affordable options. You can also earn your own Thermomix by becoming a consultant, like us lovely ladies you saw tonight. We're kind of getting our heads wrapped around the virtual world and showing our lovely Thermomix via the virtual world, which is kind of fun for us. So come on board and join us. It's a lot of fun, and you can earn your own Thermomix. Does anyone have any other questions? I hope you've enjoyed cooking with us. Yeah, stay in touch with your consultant. If you don't have a consultant, let me know, and let me know where you live and kind of what you're interested in, like maybe your diet or whatever, and I'll match you up with someone from the team who's awesome for that area. Yeah, I really hope you've loved tonight's, oh sorry, also Nadia's giving me a little nudge here. We also have a payment option where you can spread out the payment over 3 months. It's called Easy 3. Yeah, so what was I about to say? Oh, thank you so much for interacting with us. We don't like to feel like we're alone in our kitchens cooking, even though we are. So thank you so much for all your input in the chat. It's just so great to know that you're loving it. Yeah, so I hope I haven't missed anything. Other consultants, come off and tell me if I've missed saying something important. Okay, someone's asking when's the next one. I wrote it down. We're going to do another class on Friday, the 15th of May, and then another on Thursday, the 28th of May. Stay tuned. We will start advertising those probably tomorrow or the next day. And after isolation, I'm really not sure. We love doing face-to-face so that everyone can eat the food that we make. But we'll see. I'm loving this virtual. I'm not wearing shoes. I'm in track pants, and you think I look really professional in my beautiful shirt, but yeah, I'm loving this virtual world. So yes, I will email you about the next classes. Oh, if recipes aren't in English on Cookie-Doo, thanks for the question. You can't change it on the actual Thermomix. If you open the recipe in Chrome, you can translate it. Or I have an app on my phone called Google Translate. It's just an app. You hover the phone over the screen, and on your iPhone screen, it tells you the English version. It's amazing. It works really well. Yeah, maybe someone's just asking, maybe we'll do a mixture of both online and in person, which would be great. I love that. So, yeah. Oh, Taish, your internet went funny when I said the Thermomix deals. Stay on, and I'll talk to you about those. If anyone's already got a Thermomix and doesn't want to know anything about how to buy a Thermomix at the moment, incidentally, if you're wanting to buy a Thermomix as a gift for your mother, if you're wanting to host a cooking experience to support your consultant right now, we are doing online classes. You can choose the menu and show off friends. It's a very easy way to earn our host rewards, because you're just grabbing friends and putting them on Zoom. It's as easy as you turning up tonight. That's how easy it is to host right now. And you get a host reward, and you're helping support your consultant by sharing the Thermomix with other people. We love being able to spread the word. Recap of the recipes. We did the pesto star bread. Thanks for asking that question. Sorry, I just am finding what we did. The pesto star bread, the camembert with cranberries and almonds, the sticky toffee puddings, chorizo and prawn a la Sidra, the pork fillet wrapped in prosciutto with barbecue butter. We did a garlic infused oil and a za'atar spice mix. How's that? All that in about an hour and 20 minutes or however long we've taken, but mostly we're just standing around chatting. Yes, so thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to leave, and I'm just going to go through the deals at the moment again for those who missed it, and I was talking kind of fast as well. So the price of the Thermomix, thank you, Karen. The price of the Thermomix is $2,269. several payment options. One is to earn your own Thermomix by becoming a consultant. Another way is to put it on Zip Money, which is 36 months interest-free. This works out at $16.30 per week. Another option is to space it out over 3 months on a credit card or debit card. That one is, it has an extra $50 admin fee, and it's $919 the first month, then $700, then $700. The other way is just to pay it all up front, and that can be done over a bank transfer or on a card, PayPal, WeChat, or Alipay. So they pretty much accept any payment there. So, and I'll just show you the promotions at the moment. So if anyone's wanting to buy by the end of tomorrow night, we've got till midnight, you're also receiving our everyday cookbook, 2.6 litre thermo server, which is awesome. I love the thermo server. In May, I don't have any to show you, but it's our wine package from the Lewin Estate in the Margaret River. It's 3 reds and 3 whites, valued at around $200. I don't have the exact figure in my head. Or for those who don't drink or want something they can keep forever, if you don't want the wines, you can also choose option B, which is 2 cute mini thermo servers. They're each 500 mils. And our vegetarian cookbook, which is also really great. I hope that covers everything. Do you have any other questions about it? Who was asking about the deals? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Taish, maybe?
It was Taish.
Sorry. Anyone else, any other questions, feel free to come off mute and ask, or put it in the chat. I'm happy to stick around for a few minutes to make sure everyone's comfortable.
Someone asked about the 3-month option, if they can pay it weekly.
I don't think so. It's an automatic thing in our system. Our system's very automated. It'll take the 919 instantly. A month later, it'll take 700, and a month later, 700. Yeah, that's just the way that is, sorry. The Zip Money is the one that you can pay weekly, monthly, or fortnightly. You can choose with that one. I love all the comments in the chat saying thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We really love cooking for you all. We love talking about the Thermomix. What other questions does anyone have, or want me to go through anything on cookie dough, or just anything? I'll just stay on until everyone's gone. I'm glad you loved it. Any other questions, just feel free to contact me in the future. You'll have my email address in the end, or your consultant, for those who have a consultant. Thanks, Jen. If anyone wants a pudding, come and grab one. I can PM you my address. Do the recipes from Cookie Dough just transfer to the Thermomix? Yes, they do, or they don't even need to. Oh, I didn't show that. Oh, someone would have shown it tonight. If you hold on, Tash, I'll just show you how it works. Tash, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So this is your home screen on your Thermomix. It's connected to Wi-Fi. So all I need to do is swipe here, and you'll notice maybe that looks exactly the same as the website I showed you earlier. So you just type in, give it a second to think, depending on how good your Wi-Fi is. And here's where you can just type in what you want. So if I type chicken, that's a boring ingredient. It's the first thing I thought of. All your chicken dishes are going to come up. The other way, when your recipes are organized, is where you come to your menu. And this is instant. Anything you bookmark on the website comes here in about 10 seconds. So here are all my folders. So this is my dip folder. If I go in, these are all the dips that I've saved in that folder. And my weekly planner would be here. So the recipes that I've put in my weekly planner will come up here. Yeah. The other thing you can do is save actual books. So these are all the books that I've saved. Yeah, so it all just comes up instantly on your Thermomix. If you don't want to be connected to Wi-Fi at all times, whatever's on there is just from your last sync, and you can still search offline for those, or if they're organized in your folders or whatever, it's all just there even without Wi-Fi.